So are you aware of this? Apparently, Zebec just might have been seen by approximately 23,000 people. I am not joking. The reason why I say that is because Zebec literally just appeared in another soccer, or should I say football match in Italy. And I'll explain all about this in today's video, even though I am not telling anyone to do anything and nothing I say is financial advice. Let's think about this logically, right? Zebec recently appeared in a soccer match, or should I say a football match, between Udinese and Como. Now, the match was a tie, but we have to consider there were around 23,000 individuals in attendance at the Blue Energy Stadium, or should I say the Stadio Friuli. And that was again in Udine in Italy. So people sometimes like to tell me, oh, no one's really going to care about this type of stuff, but we have to consider this. Not only was Zebec seen in that soccer match, but we have to consider the other people who might watch it later on, right? On social media or something like that. Sometimes we don't really know those exact figures, but at least seeing around 23,000 individuals in attendance who might have seen Zebec, I think that's a pretty impressive victory in and of itself. Now people like to tell me, Zebec is so cooked and all this. If a project is cooked, do you think they can appear in a soccer or football match? I don't really think so. That's not sometimes free, right? That's pretty expensive, I'm assuming. But even besides that point, the fact that they have like the disposable resources to do this type of stuff, it's quite legendary in my opinion. Like a lot of other projects out there are literally not doing good. Even with the slight recovery, people are saying, oh wow, this project recovered 10%, this other one recovered 20% or whatever. But really, that's like peanuts compared to where they once were for a lot of them last year and even the year before. So it's nothing really that impressive that could transform, all these projects that were down for quite a while. Not necessarily. So if a project hasn't been doing the best in the past couple months, around a 10 or 20% recovery while they're down like over 80 or 90% when compared to last year or the year before, it's not really going to move the needle. It's not a needle mover. A lot of these projects that are still continuing to sponsor, events or something like that, those are the ones that typically have been doing pretty okay as of late, and they don't depend on the market changing like that, because Zebec is a project that relies on its products and services. It does not rely on the treasury that it's holding and then exiting off that to, continue to make themselves, I guess, operating, right? That's not their style. That's not their business model. Their business model is literally having products and services, and if people use it, then okay, good. If not, then, okay, then it doesn't do good. But it's relying on the products and services, not on hype or attention or, whatever goes on when it comes to the price charts. Because when it comes to the price charts, it's so difficult to know what exactly happens, like in the very short or medium term. It's very tough to tell, because even with this slight recovery, a lot of people are still wondering, is this going to be a prolonged one or not? We really don't know as of right now. But regardless, whether or not the market recovers or it goes down or whatever, I can't deny that Zebec actually being able to appear in a soccer match in 2026, in August, I can't deny that that is actually super impressive. Given a time like right now, like, could you imagine? A lot of other projects out there can't do that. I don't see Zebec's closest competitor called Onyx doing this. You know what I mean? Now, I'm still a fan of Onyx, but I'm just saying, I don't see them doing that. But I digress. When it comes to Zebec, again, people like to say, oh, it's such a waste that they're appearing in this soccer match or whatever. Keep in mind, this is just kind of the beginning when it comes to Zebec, because this is a season-long presence. So they're going to be there for the entire season, it feels like, or allegedly. And it's going to be across the Serie A, which is in Italy, and then also the Bundesliga in Germany. So we got to let that sink in. For like a whole season, that's quite impressive. I mean, they're going to be appearing in soccer matches involving like Juventus or Bayern Munich or Borussia Dortmund and many others. We got to let that sink in. Zebec's not playing around when it comes to this type of stuff. Sure, it may not be the coolest or most interesting project out there, but they're not playing around when it comes to this. And the better exposure, I think the better it will be. Really, I just do think so, because sure, Zebec is not reliant on hype or fans or whatever, but at the same time, its product and services, it needs to market it one way or another, right? I mean, it just can't survive like that without no one knowing what it is, you know? So when I take a look at Zebec, their main products as of right now is like the payrolls and the cards and all this. But I don't mind, because if that seems to be doing still pretty okay when it comes to Zebec, which apparently it is. I mean, the last time I saw the monthly volume report, when it comes to that, the payroll was still doing like tens of millions of dollars in volume, and also the cards. How is that translating to the actual like profit or whatever? I mean, who knows? But at the same time, we're seeing a lot of volume when it comes to that. I mean, we're talking about a project here that has well over 200 payroll enterprise clients. Again, I don't know their internals. I don't know how much they're profiting off that. I have no idea. I mean, again, they're not a public company when it comes to Zebec, so they're not really going to publish all the intricate details like that. But at the same time, seeing those type of numbers, I still think it's quite impressive. So yes, Zebec, even as of right now, is still approximately slightly less than 3 times away than its peak last year. But seeing them appear in a soccer match, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to automatically change the charts. No, the market would need to have a long and prolonged recovery in order to see Zebec even anywhere close to its peak last year, at least in my opinion. But at the same time, people oftentimes like to tell me, well, Zebec going back to around a 540 million market cap, like what it did last year, they say it sounds so impossible. But really though, I mean, if we take a look at it, a 540 million market cap is really nothing that monumental. Let's just let this sink in. The all-time high market cap when it comes to Shiba Inu is what? Around 40 billion, around 44 billion? Dogecoin was around 88 billion. A 540 million market cap is really peanuts in the grand scheme of things compared to that. We've seen many, many projects far exceed that. Even memes. Take a look at Pepe. Take a look at Book of Meme historically, right? A 540 million market cap is really nothing too impressive. But yet still, it was relatively impressive for Zebec because it was its peak last year. But at the same time, we're so low compared to that we're almost 3 times away. But here's the thing. Not only have we seen that before, but it's really nothing that tough. And Zebec, we're talking about a project here that has backers like Solana Ventures, that has a backer like Circle. On top of that as well, Zebec has around 110,000 holders almost. So a 540 million market cap for a project of this archetype, we've seen it reach it before. And if it were to go back there, it wouldn't necessarily surprise me, but given the fact that we're around 3 times away from that, showcases how Zebec is actually already quite low, or very low actually, comparatively speaking. So when I take a look at this, not only is it hypothetically quite low in the grand scheme of things, but returning back to around a 540 million market cap is really nothing that monumental. It's nothing that impressive actually in the grand scheme of things. But why would it going back there make me, not complain? Like in a sense where, why would I already feel quite happy in regard to that? Well, it's because I'm not looking to become the next Jeff Bezos. And then also furthermore, I just find it quite impressive. Like the movement back there is around 3 times. Okay, I mean, it wouldn't be 20 or 30 times comparatively, like if it were to go back to its peak last year, but I'm not going to complain. That's just the way to take a look at it. Because in the world of stocks, for instance, like around a 2 or 3 times movement, people would consider it so legendary in some cases, right? So why would I think about it any different here? That's just kind of what I'm thinking about. But I'm not telling anyone to do anything. I'll be sure to make more updates though moving forward. I want to say thank you so much for watching. And regardless, right, seeing Zebec just recently appear in a soccer match, I thought it was pretty impressive. But I'll be sure to make more updates moving forward. It's Mali the Captain.